Margaret Atwood, the author of Oryx and Crake, Alias Grace, and The Handmaid's Tale, is not only one of the most well-known Canadian writers, but it's through her writing that many people discover the identity of Canada. Like finding British culture through the Beatles or learning about Japanese culture through Miyazaki, Atwood's literary works have been the gateway to a silent country on a global stage. As we discover the world through our written words, we must learn to share what is close to home and be an honest ambassador not only for our characters and settings, but for the true feelings we have within us. Here are the top 10 writing quotes from the author who have shown us that telling stories is a way of welcoming others in. Any novel is hopeful in that it presupposes a reader. It is actually a hopeful act just to write anything, really, because you're assuming that someone will be around to read it. The only way you can write the truth is to assume that what you set down will never be read, not by any other person, and not even by yourself at some later date. Otherwise, you begin excusing yourself. You must see the writing as emerging like a long scroll of ink from the index finger of your right hand. You must see your left hand erasing it. Possibly then, writing has to do with darkness and a desire or perhaps a compulsion to enter it and, with luck, to illuminate it and to bring something back out to the light. Everyone writes, in a way. That is, each person has a story, a personal narrative, which is constantly being replayed, revised, taken apart, and put together again. The significant points in this narrative changes as a person ages. What may have been a tragedy at 20 is seen as a comedy or nostalgia at 40. A word after a word after a word is power. We were the people who were not in the papers. We lived in the blank spaces at the edges of print. It gave us more freedom. We lived in the gaps between the stories. I don't know whether there are any really pretty novels. All of the motives a human being may have, which are mixed, that's the novelist's material. We like to think of ourselves as really, really good people. But look in the mirror. Really look. Look at your own mixed motives, and then multiply that. The answers you get from literature depends on the questions you pose. I was once a graduate student in Victorian literature, and I believe, as the Victorian novelist did, that a novel isn't simply a vehicle for private expression, but that it also exists for social examination. I firmly believe this. If it's a story I'm telling, then I have control over the ending. But if it's a story even in my head, I must be telling it to someone. You don't tell a story only to yourself. There is always someone else, even when there is no one. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. For more videos on writing and the creative process, don't forget to subscribe.